March 6, 1944, 10:18 a.m. Central Germany, near Leipzig. The air raid sirens begin too late. A low, rising wail cuts through the factory yard as workers freeze in place, heads tilting upward. The sky is unnaturally clear, cold blue, no clouds, no cover. A moment passes, then another. And then the sound arrives, not a roar, a hum, deep, steady, mechanical. It grows until the ground itself seems to vibrate beneath steel-toed boots and concrete floors. Men shield their eyes. Somewhere far above, sunlight flashes off aluminium wings. An officer steps into the open yard, binoculars snapping up to his face. Oberstleutnant Friedrich Keller, Logistics Command, Army Group Center. He doesn't need to count the aircraft, he already knows. Americans, he says quietly. The first bombs fall on the fuel depot at the edge of the complex, not scattered, not rushed, perfectly spaced. The explosion lifts a storage tank clean off its mounts, tearing it open like paper. A second blast follows, then a third. Fuel ignites, a wall of black smoke erupts into the sky, followed by flames so tall they bend in the wind. The heat hits seconds later, a physical force that drives men backward. Keller lowers his binoculars slowly. This is exactly what he warned them about. Weeks earlier, Berlin, a dim conference room thick with cigarette smoke. Keller had stood over a map littered with red pins, fuel depots, rail hubs, refineries. He had pointed to them one by one. If they control the skies, he had said, they will not fight our tanks, they will starve them. Some listened, most didn't. The Luftwaffe would protect the Reich, they said. The Americans lacked discipline, their bombers needed escorts, their fighters couldn't range deep enough. Keller had heard it all before. Now he watches as P-51 Mustangs cut through the sky above the burning depot, silver streaks moving with calm confidence. They aren't chasing targets, they're guarding the bombers, owning the air. Below, chaos spreads. Trucks try to flee the depot, tires melting on hot asphalt. A rail car detonates, sending a shockwave down the tracks. Fuel that took months to refine vanishes in seconds. Keller grips the edge of a concrete wall, knuckles white. This isn't a raid, it's a message. Across Germany, the same scene is unfolding. Refineries at Luna, storage sites near Magdeburg, rail yards feeding the Eastern Front, all burning, not by accident, by design. And Keller understands something most still refuse to accept. This war is no longer being decided at the front, it's being decided from the air. A runner stumbles toward him, coughing, eyes wide. Herr Oberstleutnant, communications are down, the trains. I know, Keller interrupts. Because he's already doing the math. No fuel means no movement. No movement means Panzer divisions become steel coffins. Aircraft sit idle, trucks rot on roadsides, entire offensives die before they begin. He remembers another meeting, this one earlier, colder. A younger officer had asked him, half joking, what if we just hide the fuel? Keller had stared at him. You can't hide smoke, he'd said. Now the smoke is visible for kilometers. Above the flames, American fighters circle lazily, almost indifferent. They aren't in a hurry, there is no resistance worth mentioning. The Luftwaffe barely shows itself anymore. When it does, it dies quickly. Keller watches one Mustang peel away, sunlight glinting off its wings. He feels something settle in his chest, not fear. Finality, this is what air superiority looks like. Not dogfights, not heroics, control. A second wave of bombers approaches. The ground trembles again. Another depot ignites. Keller turns away, unable to watch. Because the realization has fully formed now, clear and undeniable. Germany isn't running out of soldiers. It isn't even running out of tanks. It's running out of fuel. And once that burns, the war burns with it. Behind him, another explosion rocks the complex. The smoke thickens, swallowing the sky. Keller exhales slowly. He warned them. Now all he can do is watch it happen. April 1944, Western Germany. Dawn, a Panzer column sits motionless along a forest road. Engines idle, then sputter, then fall silent. Hauptmann Ernst Weber, 2nd Panzer Division, climbs down from his tank and kicks the dirt in frustration. The morning air smells wrong, burnt oil, smoke drifting from somewhere far to the west. The radio crackles with overlapping voices, each more tense than the last. Fuel convoy delayed, rail line destroyed, await further orders. Weber already knows what that means. Above them, the sound returns. A distant drone, growing louder. Someone looks up, Mustangs again. They sweep across the sky in pairs, smooth and confident, hunting anything that moves. A truck on the road a kilometer away accelerates too late. A fighter dives, guns flashing. The truck erupts in flame, the fuel inside igniting instantly. Weber doesn't flinch. He's seen this before. What terrifies him isn't the explosion, it's the pattern. The Americans aren't bombing randomly. They aren't chasing tanks. They're killing movement, trains, fuel trucks, refineries, storage depots, anything that keeps the German army alive. Weeks earlier, reports had come in from Italy, from France, from the Eastern Front. Commanders all saying the same thing, we can't move. In Berlin, the warnings piled up. Some generals begged for fuel prioritization. Others demanded the Luftwaffe be rebuilt. Hitler raged about cowardice and defeatism. None of it changed the skies. Weber walks along the column, counting tanks, powerful machines, thick armor, big guns, useless without fuel. He remembers training exercises before the war, fast advances, endless maneuver. Back then, fuel was assumed, a constant, a background detail. Now it's everything. A runner approaches, breathless. Herr Hauptmann, new orders, we're to hold position. Weber laughs once, sharp, bitter. Hold position, he says. With what air? The runner doesn't answer. By midday, the sun burns through the haze. The Mustangs return again and again, strafing crossroads, rail yards, anything that might carry fuel east. German anti-aircraft guns fire blindly, shells bursting far below the fighters. It doesn't matter. The Americans fly too high, too fast, too freely. And that's when it hits Weber. This isn't temporary. This isn't a setback. This is systemic collapse. He imagines the fuel depots he passed months ago, vast fields of tanks and pipelines, gone now, reduced to blackened craters. He imagines refineries that took years to build, destroyed in minutes. You can almost feel it, the weight pressing down on the army, invisible but absolute. By evening, orders come again, withdraw, not because the enemy advanced, because there's nothing left to feed the machines. As the column turns back, Weber looks up one last time. The sky is still full of American aircraft circling like they own it, because they do. Somewhere far from the front, German commanders sit over maps covered in red marks, each one a lost depot, a destroyed rail line, a burned conv. And for the first time, they understand the full meaning of the warning Keller gave months earlier. You don't defeat Germany by destroying its tanks, you defeat it by starving them. And the Americans have perfected the art. The sky darkens with smoke again in the distance. Another fuel site, another fire, another message from above. Late summer 1944, somewhere west of the Rhine, nightfall, the fires burn long after the air raids end. From a nearby ridge, Oberst Friedrich Keller watches the horizon glow red. Fuel depots, rail yards, what's left of them. Each explosion arrives seconds apart, methodical, almost calm. This isn't terror bombing. It's accounting. Every strike removes another number from Germany's ledger of survival. Keller turns away from the window. His headquarters smells of damp maps and stale smoke. A radio operator lowers his headset slowly, like someone afraid to speak. Another convoy destroyed, Herr Oberst. Fighters, low altitude. Keller nods. He doesn't ask where, it no longer matters. Weeks ago, he'd sent a memo up the chain of command, carefully worded, cautious but clear. American Airpower is not targeting our armies. It is targeting our ability to exist. The reply never came. Now his situation reports read like obituaries. Tank battalion immobile, motorized infantry marching on foot, artillery, shells available, tractors empty. Germany still has guns, still has men, still has discipline, but war is movement, and Germany has been frozen in place. Outside, a half-track rumbles briefly, then dies. The crew climbs out embarrassed, pushing it off the road so it won't block traffic that no longer exists. Horses pass them heading east, pulling wagons loaded with supplies meant for an army that used to run on gasoline. Keller watches them go. This is what defeat looks like when it arrives quietly. Not surrender papers, not parades, just empty tanks. Across the sky, contrails cut white scars through the dusk. B-17s returning home, P-51s escorting them unchallenged. The Luftwaffe is almost invisible now, not destroyed in dogfights, but grounded by the same enemy, fuel. American planners had understood something early on, something simple, brutal, and irreversible. You can replace planes, you can rebuild tanks, you can train new soldiers. But you cannot fight a modern war without energy. And once that energy is gone, everything else becomes theater. Keller sits down and removes his gloves. His hands are shaking, not from fear, but from exhaustion. Years of planning reduced to waiting, waiting for fuel that will never come, waiting for orders that no longer mean anything. Somewhere at the front, infantrymen will fight tomorrow with rifles and courage. They will fight hard, but the war has already passed them by. The Americans don't need to break through anymore. They simply wait and burn. By the end of the year, Germany's armored divisions exist mostly on paper. Factories stand intact but idle. Trains sit on rails with nowhere to go. The sky belongs to someone else. And the warning that once sounded exaggerated now feels understated. American Airpower didn't just dominate the battlefield, it erased it, silently, relentlessly, until the engines stopped turning.